Ancient Chinese emperors were supposed to be the most powerful people under heaven. They had palaces, guards, golden thrones, fancy hats, and thousands of people shouting, "Long live your majesty." Sounds safe, right? Wrong! In ancient palace politics, being emperor was sometimes less like winning the lottery, and more like sitting on a golden chair with a trapdoor under it. Some emperors died from poison. Some were destroyed by rebellion. Some were killed because they annoyed the wrong person. And one poor child emperor basically died because he said one sentence too honestly. Today, let's meet 6 rulers from the Han Dynasty and its chaotic aftermath whose deaths were strange, tragic, and cruel. This is Emperor Hui of Han. He was young, gentle, and probably the kind of emperor who just wanted everyone to calm down, drink some tea, and stop fighting against each other. Unfortunately, his mother was Empress Lu, and Empress Lu did not believe in calm down. She controlled the court like a boss. Ministers bowed, servants ran. Even the emperor himself looked like he wanted to ask, "Mom, can I be emperor for 5 minutes?" One day, Empress Lu decided to teach her son a lesson about power. Not with a book, not with a speech, with pure nightmare fuel. She took him down a dark palace corridor to see Lady Qi, one of his father's former favorites. What Emperor Hui saw almost broke him. Her arms and legs had been cut off, her eyes gouged out, her ears burned deaf, her throat poisoned mute, and her body thrown into a barrel filled with excrement. Empress Lu cruelly called her a human pig. He trembled and cried, "This is not something a human being could do." After that, something inside him broke. He stopped caring about government. He pushed away documents. He drank. He stared into space like a man whose soul had already left the palace. No assassin came for him. No army defeated him. Emperor Hui was destroyed by fear, sorrow, and the terrifying realization that the scariest person in the empire was his own mother. Next comes Emperor Ping of Han. He became emperor when he was still a child, so small that when he sat on the throne, his feet probably didn't even touch the floor. Everyone called him Your Majesty. But let's be honest, the real boss was Wang Mang. Wang Mang was smooth, very smooth. He bowed politely, he smiled warmly, he acted like the most loyal official in history. He had 2 faces, one big friendly smile in front of the emperor, and one suspicious villain face when nobody is looking. He even married his own daughter to the boy emperor like he was saying, "Look, we're family now. Totally safe. Nothing weird here." But Wang Mang had a problem. The child emperor grew up. And once Emperor Ping became an adult, he might ask a very dangerous question. "Excuse me, why are you sitting in my power?" So suddenly, the young emperor became ill. Traditional history says Wang Mang poisoned him. Maybe the cup looked normal. Maybe the medicine smelled sweet. Maybe Wang Mang stood nearby with that fake caring face, saying, "Drink up, Your Majesty. It's good for your health." And then the boy emperor was gone. He never got the chance to truly rule. His death is strange because he lived in the most luxurious prison in the empire, the palace. Golden throne, silk robes, fancy ceremonies, but no real power, and no real safety. In the end, the smiling protector may have been the most dangerous person in the room. Now we meet Wang Mang himself. Wang Mang was not born emperor, but when he looked at the throne, he thought, "You know what? I could do that." So he took power, ended the Han Dynasty for a while, and founded the Qin Dynasty. Then he started his grand project, fixing the entire empire. New money, new land rules, new policies, new everything. He thought he was saving the country, but the country looked at his reforms and said, "No thank you." Farmers were angry, officials were confused. The economy became messy. Then floods came, then rebellions came, then more rebellions came. Basically, the empire turned into a burning group project where nobody knew who was in charge. And Wang Mang? He still tried to act majestic, even as rebels stormed the capital. He put on imperial robes and tried to look like the chosen ruler of heaven. Very dramatic, very useless. The rebels broke into the palace, and Wang Mang was killed in the chaos. His ending is almost too symbolic. A man obsessed with control died surrounded by total disorder. He tried to rebuild the world like a perfect machine. Instead, the machine exploded, and he was standing right in the middle of it. After Wang Mang fell, everyone wanted the Han dynasty back, so the rebels looked around and said, "We need a Han prince." Then, they found Lu Xuan. Poor Lu Xuan probably had one quiet morning left in his life before a group of excited rebel leaders grabbed him and said, "Congratulations! You're emperor now!" And he was probably thinking, "Wait, me? Are you sure?" That is how he became the Gengshi Emperor. At first, it looked amazing. The bad usurper was gone, the Han name was back, everyone could celebrate. But there was one small problem. The new emperor was not very strong. He sat on the throne, but powerful generals argued in front of him like he was just palace furniture. He tried to speak. Nobody listened. He tried to control the situation. The situation controlled him. Then came the red eyebrows. Yes, that was their real style. Rebels who painted their eyebrows red so they could recognize each other. The capital fell into chaos. The Gengshi Emperor lost everything and surrendered. But surrender did not save him. He was killed by the red eyebrows. He had been lifted up by rebellion, used as a symbol, and then destroyed by another rebellion. His story is strange, because he did not really climb to the throne. He was pushed onto it, and then the same storm that carried him upwards swallowed him whole. Now comes one of the most unbelievable deaths. Emperor Ji of Han was just a child. Tiny emperor, big throne, serious little face. But this kid was sharp. The real power in court belonged to Liang Ji, a huge, arrogant general who controlled everything. Ministers feared him. Officials bowed to him. Everyone acted like Liang Ji was a walking thundercloud. But little Emperor Ji saw through him. One day, in front of the court, the child emperor looked at Liang Ji and called him an overbearing general. The whole court probably froze. Officials stopped breathing. Servants dropped trays. Liang Ji smiled on the outside. But inside, volcano. He could accept many things, but being insulted by a child emperor in public? Absolutely not. Soon after, Emperor Ji was poisoned. He was not a military threat. He was not leading a rebellion. He was not even old enough to grow a proper beard. He died because he said the truth too clearly, too loudly, and too close to a dangerous man's ego. Moral of the story? Never roast a powerful general unless you have very good security. Finally, we have Emperor Shao of Han, also known as Lu Bian. He became emperor at the worst possible time. The Han court was falling apart. Eunuchs, generals, nobles, and warlords were fighting like everyone had joined a deadly office meeting with swords. Then Dong Zhuo arrived. Dong Zhuo did not enter the capital like a polite guest. He entered like a storm wearing armor. Soldiers marched behind him. Officials trembled. The young emperor sat on the throne, probably thinking, "I would like to resign." Dong Zhuo looked at Lu Bian and decided he was too weak. So he removed him from the throne and replaced him with his younger brother. Imagine being fired from being emperor. One day. Long live your majesty. Next day, please pack your crown and leave. But Dong Zhuo still had a problem. A deposed emperor is dangerous. Even without power, Lu Bian was a symbol. Someone could use his name to rebel. So Lu Bian was kept under guard, alone and helpless. Then came the final cup. Tradition says he was forced to die by poison. His death is strange because it was so cold and political. So, what do these 6 stories tell us? In ancient China, the imperial throne looked powerful from far away. Gold, silk, guards, ceremonies, everyone bowing. But up close, it could be a trap. In ancient palace politics, the crown was not just heavy. Sometimes it was deadly.